Hi, in this video you will find some points to add or modify your permit-required confined spaces checklist. Permit-required confined spaces. Self-inspection checklist. Do you have a written permit-confined space program? Is the program available for inspection? Are confined spaces thoroughly emptied of any corrosive or hazardous substances, such as acids or caustics, before entry? Before entry, are all pipelines to a confined space containing inert, toxic, flammable, or corrosive materials, valve often blanked, or disconnected and separated? Are all impellers, agitators, or other moving equipment inside confined spaces locked out if they present a hazard? Is either natural or mechanical ventilation provided prior to confined space entry? Before entry, are appropriate atmospheric tests performed to check for oxygen deficiency, toxic substances, and explosive concentrations in the confined space? Is adequate lighting provided for the work being performed in the confined space? Is the atmosphere inside the confined space frequently tested or continuously monitored during the work process? Is there an attendant outside the confined space whose sole responsibility is to watch the work in progress, sound an alarm if necessary, and help render assistance? Are attendants or other employees prohibited from entering the confined space without lifelines and respiratory equipment if there is an emergency? In addition to the attendant, is there at least one trained rescuer in the vicinity? Are all rescuers appropriately trained and using approved recently inspected equipment? Does all rescue equipment allow for lifting employees vertically through a top opening? Are rescue personnel trained in first aid and CPR, and are they immediately available? Is there an effective communication system for whenever respiratory equipment is used and the employee in the confined space is out of sight of the attendant? Is approved respiratory equipment required if the atmosphere inside the confined space cannot be made acceptable? Is all portable electrical equipment used inside confined spaces grounded and insulated or equipped with ground fault protection? Before gas welding or burning is begun in a confined space, are hoses checked for leaks, compressed gas bottles removed, and torches lit only outside the confined space area, to be returned to the confined space only after testing for explosive atmosphere? When using oxygen consuming equipment, such as salamanders, torches, and furnaces, in a confined space, is air provided to ensure combustion without reducing the oxygen concentration of the atmosphere below 19.5% by volume? Whenever combustion type equipment is used in a confined space, are provisions made to ensure that exhaust is vented outside the enclosure? Is each confined space checked for decaying vegetation or animal matter that may produce methane? Is a confined space checked for possible industrial waste that could contain toxic properties? If the confined space is below ground and near areas where motor vehicles are operating, is it possible for vehicle exhaust or carbon monoxide to enter the space? Thank you. Feel free to share this video on Facebook, Twitter, Google Groups, and WhatsApp. You can also share it with your professional network on LinkedIn. If you like this video, hit the like icon. To support us, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon for updates. Thanks for watching.